All right, very simple, straightforward, complete guide on how to use fasting for weight loss. Welcome back to the channel. So, first thing I want you to know is that I've lost around 30 pounds with fasting over the past year, and that's why I'm doing this. Is the only thing that worked for me after every single other diet that I tried to fail. And the first thing I would like you to do before we get into this beautiful scheme that I have here for you to explain how you can transition into adding more fasting to your routine is throwing away any ideas of how long this is going to take, right? If you have the current physique, current body that you have, all the decisions that you made up to this point got you to the situation that you're in, and it has a lot more to do than just calories in, calories out. Is a lot of mental stuff. I think that most of the weight loss process is just in your head, and it's fixing your relationship with food and your relationship with yourself and your identity, and fixing those things, right? Breaking down those things and reconstructing them to the way that it actually makes you flourish takes some time. So I want you to stop comparing yourself. First of all, of course, to the fake internet stuff that you see, because most of it is just the highlights. It doesn't show anything properly. A lot of people lying about timelines. A lot of people lying about like lining and the physiques and everything, and drugs involved, and it's just crazy shit out there. But I want you to stop comparing it with any like videos or any ideas that other things that you've seen about how long it should take for you to get in shape, because it is a highly individual process. Okay, if you already get that in your head, man, it's like you're ahead of most people, and you're probably going to succeed with this thing. Another thing that is important to mention, right, is the different types of fasting and which one I think is the best one to use for weight loss. So we have like basically there's the most famous one. This is the 16-8. So you have 16 hours of fast, and then you have an 8-hour eating window. You also have like dry fasting. You have like fasting for multiple days, like 3-day fasts. And so you have all different kinds of. I do believe that the best one for. I'm gonna write like this. The best one that you can use for your weight loss is this one. A lot of people call it OMAD. I like to call it like 24-hour fasts. I do believe that that is the best for weight loss that you can do, because you get a lot of the benefits from fasting: the autophagy, for your longevity, for your recovery, for your health, your cellular health, your organ health. You get all those benefits that you can get from fasting, but you also burn a lot of calories because of all that time, the 24 hours that you have in between meals. And I think is the easiest one to program, and is the easiest one to fit into your routine. I think, I don't know, depending on how much you want to lose, or even if you don't actually, you're just trying to maintain your weight after you already lose your weight, you can adjust your routine for having those 24-hour fasts to get the health benefits without actually losing much weight. So the most I recommend you do is 6 days a week with 1 day of a break. I do find it very important that you have breaks in your week. I do 5 days a week of 24-hour fasts, together with 2 days a week that I eat more chill, that I don't bother too much. I usually have less food than, I don't have all the 3 meals usually, but I have like 2 meals and a snack and whatever. But I have a beer, go out with the boys, party, and that does not affect my weight loss routine. But I do recommend that you have at least 1 day of the week that you're just not fasting, just because for sustainability. I don't think I would have been able to spend more than a year doing this if it wasn't for those little breaks that I added to my routine to keep your mental sanity, to reset your health, your fatigue levels, your hunger levels. That's all fantastic. Okay. Another very important thing before I start scratching here is to understand how hunger works. And the way that hunger works is the same way that sleep works. It comes in waves. So right now I am ravaging hungry, right? I woke up this morning, had a coffee. I woke up at like 7, now it's 10:30. I am ravaging hungry. I could eat right now, but what am I gonna do? I'm not going to eat. I'm just gonna have water. I might just go out for a walk to distract myself. I'll maybe grab like an energy drink or something, a black coffee, just something that's I just have to deal with the hunger. It's pretty much like that. Like I still don't understand. Like people told me at the beginning, oh, you're gonna get used to it and you're gonna stop feeling so hungry. That doesn't fucking happen. You just get stronger. You just get better at just dealing with it, and you know that hunger is not gonna kill you. Like how it's a bit uncomfortable, but like I don't know, man. Most of the great people in the history of humanity were hungry most of the time, right? You think, I don't know. You think a general going to war and bringing victory to his kingdom like a king, he was hungry a lot of the time. He wasn't having 3 meals a day in the fucking trenches, right? So it's just something that you deal with. You get used to it. Okay, so now let's get to the transition plan. So the first thing I urge you to do is to find the meal that you care about the least. In my case, because of work, it was always lunch. I always hated lunch. Lunch for me was unsatisfying, too little food. I'll get hungry after. It wasn't the best like stuff because it was only the stuff that I could carry in my bag on the bus to work. So first thing I did was that I cut the lunch. Right. I'm not going to talk about the weekends. Let's suppose you're just going to do the weekends normally for the sake of this video, but you can do however you want. Okay. The second thing I cut was my second least favorite meal, even though I really loved breakfast. I cut the breakfast out, right? So, well, I have a goal. I have a fitness goal that I want to achieve, and I can't be emotionally attached to food like that. It's not a healthy way to deal with food, being dependent on it, right? Especially because it's something that you may or may not have available to you, right? You may or may not have food available, so you can be emotionally dependent on that. Then, second thing, after that, what you're going to do is that you're going to cut the solid snacks. So go here, let's say you have have some chips in the morning, have some fruits or whatever. You just cut that shit out, okay? No snacking in the morning. The snacking is going to make you more hungry. It might feel like a temporary relief, but what's doing to you is going to make you more hungry for the rest of the day. And finally, after doing that thing, I cut all the liquid calories that I was consuming, so all the cream and whatever that I was consuming throughout the day, and that finally got me to only having 1 meal a day for 5 days a week. Now, you can customize this however you want, and you can take as much time as you need to do this full transition. What I did, man, it took me like 8 or 9 months to be able to fully get to the situation that I'm in right now. That looks probably something like this. This is what I like kind of do right now. Sometimes I'll eat a little bit more on a Sunday or whatever, but this is pretty much what I do right now. And it took me like 9 months to get to this point. So it's what I said at the beginning. You don't have to, you have to throw away any ideas of how fast this is supposed to be like, because everyone works in a little bit of a different way. And very important to know is that like fasting for weight loss is different from fasting for your health. So if you have like coffee with milk, I do still have coffee with milk. And it's like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really count. Because I'm not trying to get all the health benefits, all the autophagy, all the biological benefits. I'm just trying to lose weight. And what matters when you're trying to lose weight is consuming less calories than you burn. Like a lot of people try to do all this fucking mental math to mental gymnastics and all this, oh, but the hormones, but the quality of the food, but the whatever. But at the end of the fucking day, it's just a bunch of things that people used to cover the fact that you actually have to consume less calories than what you eat. That's uncomfortable. That creates hunger. That creates discomfort. Yeah, but that's how the process works, right? And you also need to have what I call a trench war mentality. So a lot of people treat weight loss as a battle. It can't be treated as a skirmish, as a battle. It has to be treated as a war, a trench war. You're just entrenched months at a time, and you just advanced a little bit every single time. If you have that mindset, then you can actually stick to things for a very long time. I've been doing this whole 1 meal a day thing for a year now. And it's like, if you tell people that, they think you're crazy. When I started this channel, people would I would get comments being like, oh, this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable on the long term. This is not good. Well, yada yada. But it's like, well, I'm still doing it. I'm still fucking sustaining it, and I don't feel tired of it. I feel like I'm gonna be able to keep going with this thing for a lot longer than I actually am right now. Right? This is like just a way that I live right now. So you have to throw away a little bit of that common sense as well. Don't listen to people too much. People are gonna try to this like not disencourage you to do this thing. Don't let them get to your head, because only you know how much you actually want the thing that you do. Okay, so this is this whole thing, this goal graph that I showed you, is part of a 4-week plan that I have on my school. It's free right now. Go check it out. First link in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, cheers.